Okay, a very good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. This is ZS6YI hosting the worldwide DATV Net today on the highest channel on our DATV transponder. Anyway, yeah, sorry, I'm just a bit late. I'm helping a guy with a 70 centimeter repeater, and the more I tell him, hey, I must go on to DATV, the more he wants to talk. So that happens when the guys get excited. Anyway, yeah, talking about VHF repeaters. I did something today, but I'll show you in a few minutes. We, as usual, just want to pay our respects to the Qatar Satellite Company for allowing us to come onto their repeater or share their repeater with ours. We want to, of course, say big thank you to AMSAT DL, AMSAT UK, and of course the BATC. And then all the people that do come on the net. It's always nice to have everybody. Let's just see if I can get onto that list, and I bet you I can't. I better do this. Just want to see who's on. Only 3 guys cannot be. Your time clocks have gone forward, so it should be even easier for the guys in the UK. So we've got Nigel on and Leon. Anyway, Leon, I did show you earlier what I was doing. Let me just leave that on for the time being and go back to myself. Yeah, I was playing with the very same type of cavities you've got. And they're working quite well, I must say. I don't know why this video, got that video. Don't know why the video's got music, audio on it, but anyway, some settings somewhere. Yeah, I tuned up some cavities. Well, firstly, recycled the old cavity resonator. Let me just see if I still got audio. Yeah, I do. And let me go and bring it up. That's it. Very similar to what you have there, that duplexer. And let me also take that text off there. Oh, I've got a stupid mouse. I must buy a new mouse. What do you call the thing? This one's too erratic. Now, why video? Oh, I see what's going on. There we go. Right. Not 100% centered on the screen, but we'll sort that out in a minute. Yeah, these are the UHF duplexes. I took that thing apart completely. You'll see there's lots of rivets all around it, Leon, and also on the side. The side box was soldered nicely. And then I just took that whole top off, so I could pull it all out. And then individually, all where the coax connectors are, that was redone and cleaned up. And I had to replace 2 plugs because they are sockets. They were hit by lightning, one on the transmit side, one on the receive side. So I had to replace them because they were charcoal virtually. Anyway, I took all the parts, put them into the ultrasonic cleaner for about half an hour. Came out very nice and clean. And then resoldered everything in, and then replaced those little 2 chassis connectors. I had to actually I had to just solder them on, and also cut the edges away so that it looks original, and then repainted the whole thing. And I tried to keep the original manufacturer's badge there, but so that's the shape it was in, you can see, next to my call sign. Anyway, it all worked, and I'll show you the test results now. Let me just get there to the next slide. That's them on the network analyzer. It's a new Siglint that I got a couple of years ago. I never used the thing, and I had to start learning how to. It works very well. I calibrated it all, and it's an excellent machine. Once you know how their logic works versus Hewlett-Packard. I've got the big HP there, also excellent machine. But I thought I'll use this because I could, there's a reason, because I could make nice copies. And there we go. This is the receiver side. You'll see marker number 1, 431.3 is where it receives, the repeater receives, so therefore that's a repeater's receiver. And I got a null on the repeater's transmitter. That's my anti-resonant notch of 124.25 dB. On the top right hand you will see the two results where marker 1 and marker 2 is. You can't get much better than that for sure. I suppose you could if you put more cavities in, but then your insertion loss, I mean, it's only 1 dB insertion loss, is phenomenal. Guys are happy with 1.8, 1.6 for that kind of thing. And then the next one's now the transmitter one. There we go. That's a transmitter. It has an insertion loss slightly higher. I don't know why that should be, of minus 1.28 dB. Still well within spec, with a anti-resonant notch down on the receiver side of 120.21 dB. So I'm quite happy with that. The guys just put them on the repeater, worked him well, but he's got interconnecting cables which aren't so healthy, so I said he must fix that up. That doesn't help. We do all this hard work and then he's got rubbish for cables. But that's how they learn how to run repeaters. Right, let's try and bring up this list again. See if anyone else has come aboard. Hi, Frank, ZD6 Golf Echo, and Leon's on, and Nigel. So, Nigel, I'll pass it to you. Mike 9, November Tango Romeo. You pass it to Leon, ZS1 Mike. Leon passes it on to Frank, and I hope you came right with your oscilloscope, Frank. I can help you there, but there's going to be no gain after the duties come through. And I'm not getting a dealer discount, nor are you, I don't think, from Germany. But I'm sure you'll will have come right there. The worst thing is if something goes wrong, there's no guarantee, you see. That's the gemors. So, let's pass it to you, Nigel, if you don't mind taking it, from ZA6 Yankee India. 6 Yankee India. Video or audio. Nigel, you had no video. You must start your encoder. You've got a carrier, but you put in no RF in through it. And if you are running on what do you call this thing, on OBS, then you must maybe switch your start your virtual camera. Maybe that's what's the problem. I don't know, but you must get your encoder on. We'll give you another time, a try. Let's go again from ZS6YI. Okay, Leon. Maybe you should come on ZS1 Mike, and we'll give Nigel a turn later, ZS6YI.
Okay, Gary, ZS6YI and the group from ZS1MM saying good morning, good afternoon and good evening. The evening people are not on nowadays, eh? And so the morning ones also. Don't know where Ed is. But anyway, hello to everybody, and especially to you there, Frank. You've been off for a long time. Yeah, okay, Gary, yes, no, nice job done there on that one. I still don't know how you open the whole box because it's folded like that. That is all one piece. Then it's riveted and soldered on all the seams. So how the heck you open that, I don't know. Anyway, this one works fine as it is. And I don't know if you heard, but I've on the higher port I have about 1 dB loss, and on the lower one I've maybe 1.5 dB or so loss, the insertion loss. But they're both better than 80 dBs. The rejection, I can't with that machine measure lower. I'll have to add a preamp if I want to look lower down, but to me 80 dBs is good enough. Anyway, it was just an exercise just to see if I can tune the thing down to 70 sems. It gets there, and as I say, the cables are all the wrong length. They for 462 and 452 megs. So yeah, it was 10 meg separation in the commercial stuff. Anyway, okay, otherwise I'm working on my 10 gig stuff for that test I must go and do at the Air Force. I think it's next week or the week after, I'm not 100% sure. But I noticed that my little Kuni 1.3 watt transmitter gets too hot, so I'm busy working on fitting it onto a heatsink. I think it's meant to be on a heatsink because the bottom is beautifully shiny machined, and it's got 4 threaded holes, so I presume they expect you to put it on a heatsink. You can leave it on for a couple of minutes, but not indefinitely. It gets too hot, so something's going to get damaged. And that thing was pretty pricey. I don't want to cook that now. So I went to my workshop and dug in the big box that says heat sinks, and I found a nice little one, and it's just the right size. So, and I found the right screws that fit into the Kuni thingy. Obviously it's metric, so it's not a problem. Now I must just carefully measure where the 4 holes must be, drill them, and cut the screws a little bit shorter because they're too long. I used Allen cap screws. And yeah, then it'll be on a heatsink, and I can check the temperature then, because we want to do quite a few measurements and so on over a span of about 125 dBs. So yeah, we need a lot of dynamic range. Oh, while I was digging around for that, I found something that I was looking for the other day and I couldn't find it. And here it is. It's well, it's the equivalent of a 50 ohm termination, but in WG16. It's a termination. It goes on to WG16 waveguide flange. It fits perfectly, and this would be sticking into the waveguide. So there's your termination. Don't know how many watts it's good for, but anyway, I was looking for this the other day when I wanted to test my directional coupler. I've got a 10 gig waveguide, a WG16 directional coupler, beautiful HP, and I couldn't find that thing, so I had to put a waveguide adapter to SMA or N-type, I can't remember, and put a normal termination on there, and that worked fine. Yes, I could see it. Everything was working fine. So I can measure return loss on 10 gig stuff. But this would have been nice if I could find it. But yeah, I've got so many boxes. But I'm busy sorting it out. All my chemicals are sorted now, and they're in the chemical store. So I've got many shelves open now where I start putting the boxes which are labeled with what's inside them. All just electronic stuff. Okay, Frank, over to you. ZS6 Golf Echo for the group from ZS1 Mike.
Right. Let's hope everything works. I didn't have any chance to test it beforehand. Looks okay. Sound hopefully okay. Okay, yeah, good afternoon everybody. Small group today. And I just want to give an update to Gary about my scope. Jacques couldn't help me. He contacted the supplier and they have minimum order quantities and all that sort of thing. So that didn't work. But essentially what happened is that while I was working on my PC board, the scope decided to go dead all of a sudden. And I was scratching my head what that could be. So eventually, oh well, it's a computer, switch it off, but it didn't want to switch off and it didn't want to switch on. So I pulled the plug, waited and plugged it in again, and immediately the scope was booting without me actually physically pushing the button. Okay, I said for now let's keep on working. Only problem was after 5 minutes it went all funny and died again. So this is a scope in question. It's actually a nice scope, but what I then found is there's a fan. The fan didn't fan anymore, so it overheated and went all funny. So I said, okay, let's not mess around, take it to the local agent. And they had it for 2 weeks, faffing and not knowing what to do. And then eventually I said, okay, thank you very much. And they said, yeah, it's now old, you don't get space anymore. Well, for me it's 12 years old and it came out in about, around about 15 years ago. So with other words, if your scope is more than 10 years old, you might as well throw it into the trash cans these days. So I opened it up and I was tracing it. Everything looked like it might be a power supply problem because the fan didn't work and the on-off switch didn't work. But I checked the power supply, everything is fine, all the voltages are there. The on-off button has a LED, that functioned fine. It changed its status, so the button itself was not okay. So there is some sort of circuit, not in the power supply, but on the main board, which is of course a problem. That does the interface. So I thought, okay, fine. I can temporarily fix it. I tapped into the voltage from the power supply, routed it directly to the fan, switched it on, and it didn't want to start. And I measured again, the voltage that was supposed to be 9 volt was only 4 volt, and the same sort of thing with other voltages. So I disconnected the fan, starts up fine. When it was started up, and you connect the fans in, it worked. So there is something weird. So I put a delay in a FET and a capacitor onto the fan line, and when it started up, it just gave a few seconds delay before the fan starts up. Yeah, okay, so and in a pinch it works, but there is still something else a bit funny. So I have now ordered a new one, and it's coming from Europe. Luckily I had a friend that runs a company, because the supplier there wasn't allowed to export. They only supply to individuals in Europe. So that is now on its way at a much better price than what the local agent wanted. But of course you take a chance. No warranty. Well, there is a warranty, but you know, by the time you send it back, then it costs a fortune again on shipping charges. But yeah, that's a chance you take, and the warranty is 3 years. After that, you are on your own if you can get space. Okay, it's a hard life, but that is all I have to say for today. We can try Nigel again. Try again from ZS6 Golf Echo.
Yeah, Nigel, I don't know what the heck's going on with you today. Nigel, I don't know what's going on. There's something you haven't clicked. That happens. I'm sorry, that's had to happen today. Just want to see who's on. That's all. It's only us. Yeah, I hope the guys don't think it's moved on by an hour, because their clocks have moved in the UK. But anyway, we have on frequency on YouTube, we've got Albert, ON4AAH. Hello, Albert. Nice to have you on again. He's in Belgium. And then Rolf, DG9FBC, Delta Golf 9 Fox Bravo Charlie. He comes up quite often. Hello, Rolfie. And to Peter, he's in Austria at the moment. He's DK3 Zulu Kilo. And he's now OE6 Delta, OE6 DZF. I think that is correct. DK3 Zulu Fox, DK3 ZF. Where did I get Kilo from? That's, of course, Peter's call sign. And then Frick has come up. Frick Wolf, he's on. ZS6 Fox Zulu. Right, just to comment quickly on your scope story. Yeah, man, there must be something pulling the voltage down. Maybe a regulator's on its way out. It's just, the best is replace the regulator. Replace those tantalum caps they sometimes put in it. Won't take you long. Just replace them. And that should have that scope working again, no matter the years. These power supplies can give you trouble. I've got the two units. One is a Stabiloc. Its power supply doesn't switch on, but if I switch it on the mains, it does. So it's a start sequence that's not working on the power supply, which is obviously one of these switch mode stuff. And I have the same thing on an LG spectrum analyzer, which I bought new, and it's still new. It's hardly been used, actually. Very nice unit. Goes up to 3 gigs. And similar problem. So that could have happened long ago with a lightning strike, who knows. But I'm pleased you have come right in any event. As I say, I could get it in, but now, oh, they're so stupid at customs, boy. They check everything. My wife brought me some Leo Bodners. I bought them, paid for them, and then they sent them to my daughter, which I had to pay extra because I had to pay British tax and what have you, VAT. So my wife just brought them, and then they stopped her at customs and kept her there for hours. And she still had to pay 10% on top of that. Ay, ay, ay. Just to rob people, man. Money-hungry bastards that are half bankrupt anyway. But anyway, that's another day's story. For ham radio, I know at one stage there was a tariff for amateur radio equipment that you didn't have to pay a duty, and amateur radio amplifiers. But you know, I suppose that might have changed. But I know it was because of emergency communications and things like that. But I think that's changed. All right. Yeah, it's a very small net, very short net. Okay, Nigel, he's just restarting his SDTV. Just sent me a message there quickly. So we'll let him start, and once he's ready, we'll give old Nigel another turn. He had a good signal last week, really, really good. No, that thing came out, well, our one did. It was just the top that we had to, and then there were some pop rivets on the side for the interconnecting things, and we got it out. But it was relatively clean, I must say. Not much to clean there. It was actually a waste of time, in a way. But those little anti-resonant notch things were needing good attention. But it's a very clever idea they've got there. Much cheaper than the way I do it normally. I'm going to use the same technique, just bigger pickup coil, different size, for a big, 2-meter cavities that I make. And we'll see how that goes. But, yeah. The thing is, you get a gear, you make a few for a few guys, or you tune them up, and then repeaters are running, and years later, you're still not on, still not using the equipment. So there we go. Anyway, all right. I don't know if Nigel hasn't said he's back on. Correct input selected. Yeah, I wonder if he has. All right, Leon, I'll pass it to you. Give a gap. Maybe Nigel comes back. ZS1 Mexico. Let's just, before you take it, let's just see who else might be on. No, nobody else on. ZS1 Mike, ZS6YI.
Good. Hopefully you can see me. Sorry for butting in there. I didn't see Nigel coming up, so I thought I'd come up instead. Just saying hello. Was busy doing things, disassembling stuff, so that's why I was late. This 4 PM start is interesting, isn't it? Quite late in the evening for us, or afternoon. Maybe a bit better with respect to lunchtime, I don't know. Anyway, hopefully you've got sound. Today Windows decided it was going to do an update whilst I was watching a video. No warning, just did it. And of course it changed everything, as it always does, which is why I try and stop them. So I'm now doing some research in how to permanently disable Windows updates, e.g. by blocking Microsoft servers. Right, okay, nothing else to say, so I'll pass it on again. Hopefully it will be Nigel. When you were transmitting before, Nigel, it was a good signal, metadata, but no video or audio. Right, so, oh, and I've forgotten Nigel's call sign now as well. I think it's like M9 NTR or something, isn't it? Yeah, M9 NTR. Are you ready? G0MJW.
Hello Mike. G0MJW and the group ZS1MM saying hi. Yeah, beautiful signal from your side as always. Perfect audio, perfect video. Very nice. Yes, I don't really have much more to say. Nobody commented on this thorn. The WG16 termination. Anyway, I'm glad I found it, because I know I had it, but where did I put it? Okay, yes, Frank, that scope, oh yeah, switch mode supplies, oh, it looks so new. I don't like those scopes. To me a scope must have a tube. But all the new ones are like that, and I don't like them. But even the ones with the tubes, the later ones also had switch mode supplies, and oh man, I once had one, well I've still got it, and they couldn't fix it at work. It was a works thing, and I found that the current sensing on startup, the current sensing was too quick. The inrush current was too much and and it would trip on overcurrent. So I just put a bigger capacitor there and phew, voila, working perfectly. So yeah, fortunately I had the diagrams of the thing, and yes, that solved that problem. So yeah, okay, Gary, yes, the cavities, yeah, repeaters, no, I'm out of the repeater business now. After they didn't appreciate my efforts, I got rid of all repeater bits and pieces. So yes, okay, Nigel, yes, he's got like 91% null packets, 0 audio, and something like 2% video or something. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, it's like the encoder is not switched on or something. I don't know how that system works that he's using STR TV. Yes, okay. So I'm giving it back to Frank. ZS6 Golf Echo for the group from ZS1 Mike in Worcester.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, Leon. I learned something. It's the first time I see a waveguide termination. I have also worked with waveguides to a limited extent in the past, but never had a termination. So, okay, that's there. And yeah, when it comes to the scope again, mechanically inside, it's fairly simple. There is a metal box that has a power supply in it with half a dozen different voltages coming out, and then there is one main PC board and 2 little screen boxes for each channel on the input side, and that's it. Now I imagine I would have been capable to trace it where it comes from, where the fault is, if I had a circuit diagram. But of course, no such luck. I tried and I searched on the internet and everything else, and yeah, you get a little bit of information on how to take it apart and all that, but no circuit whatsoever. And yeah, it's a multi-layer board, so you know, I could from the fan connector, funny enough, is not in the power supply, it's on the main board, and from there it disappears somewhere, because on the other side is nothing. So I was not able to find out where it actually goes to, and besides a few huge chips, there is actually relatively little passive components on the thing. Yeah, so it's amazing. And that's the way it goes, like with everything. These days, everything is a computer with a screen attached. And that's it. Yeah. Yeah, Gary, duplexer. I also had it in the past, but you need the right instrument for it. With a huge dynamic range. Otherwise, you don't know where you're going. Yeah, and that is something I don't have. Would like to have, but I can't justify it, like so many things. And yeah, shipping is a problem all the time. What I need, or what I relatively often get, is relatively low value items. So I order them in Europe, I send them to my daughter in Holland. She consolidates it and sends it down here. And all the stuff I buy is duty free, but you have to pay the VAT. So I pay the VAT. I can't send the items individually because the shipping costs are just too high. And it usually works out on the swings and roundabouts. But now with a relative expensive item like that scope, I can't afford to pay the VAT double. And in Holland, the VAT is 21%. So if I send it to Holland, I pay 21% VAT on the item. And then if it comes down here, I have to pay the VAT again, the local VAT. So it all adds up. Anyway, trials and tribulations. Oh, hello, Mike. Good afternoon. Yeah. And what else? Nigel. Yeah, Nigel has a problem. So, yeah, that's all from me for today. Was nice to see you. I won't be coming back. And I suppose we can wait for a moment for Nigel. Otherwise, back to you, Gary, from 36 Golf Echo.
I don't know what's happening with Nigel today. Looks like Murphy's playing havoc with you. Anyway, I'm sure you'll get it right as we close the net. Hello to you, Mike. Good to see you on. Excellent signal as usual. No problem to copy. Good audio. And yeah, not much more to comment on. Yeah, we kept it at this time as 1400 or 1500 UTC. Now that your clocks have moved up, it's 4 o'clock your time, 5 o'clock our time. Because we've been moving it around to try and accommodate people, and we've accommodated nobody by the looks of it, despite them all voting that this should be the time slot. So I don't know. Anyway, we'll give it a little chance. I was hoping we'd get more people on, maybe next week. And if it doesn't, then we'll have to, I don't know, I'll talk to Ed because he's also off because it's his lunchtime. And we try to accommodate the Indian stations. They don't come up anymore. So, okay, we said, let's leave them then. They must fall in line. And then we had many people that were complaining that 1400 UTC was too late, in the wrong time for their lunch. Okay, now that the time, your clocks have moved forward, we thought, okay, maybe it'll be better. Because if I go back to 1400 UTC, then we're back to square one for the UK guys. Can't help them all. I was even thinking at one stage of making it 7 o'clock 1700 UTC, which will be 6 p.m. your time. But then again, people having dinner, I don't know. Worldwide net, you must rather keep it local. South African net, like it is almost today, or like the BATC, everyone comes up because they same time zone, no problem. But we've tried. Right in the beginning, I think it was 3 p.m. South African time. That was 1300 UTC. That seemed to work a little bit better, but we had many complaints. It's too close to dinner and whatever. Anyway, be that as it may, yeah, repeaters, good fun. And a lot of hard work for very little these days. Hardly anyone comes on the repeaters. A lot of work, and I had a whole bunch of voting stations as well all over. Each voting station is like another repeater because it can cause havoc. Luckily, I could DTM switch them on and off. But what was the point, you know? So it regresses. So much easier just on the cell phone, I suppose. Anyway, not to be negative, I'm going to make this my final over and basically close the net, but guys can go for another quick round. So, Mike, I'll pass it to you, and you then, if you don't mind, you pass it to Leon, but Leon will give it a gap to see if Nigel's back. G0MJW ZA6YI.
Sorry about that. Not sure why the power dropped there. I think it was me trying to adjust the volume and I adjusted the power instead by scrolling the mouse. I'll keep an eye on it, see if it's okay. Anyway, back to Nigel. Yeah, I'm not sure what's happened to him. I've been working on the station and disassembling lots of things, and there's a few changes. So I'm glad it's still working. Might not be working very reliably though. Because I've disconnected one side, the Libre SDR, and I didn't connect anything in its place. So I've got a bit more gain now, and have to compensate for that. Because there's no splitter in the inline where there used to be a splitter. Otherwise, all I can show you is a 3D printed box that I designed yesterday. I don't know why I did that. Well, I do, because there's a new version of 3CAD out, and you can have a look at it. It's just a simple plastic box, but it's parametric, so I can, within reason, set the size for anything I want. So if I'm developing something, I can 3D print it, and that comes in useful. Frank's scope does sound like a power supply issue, and it sounds to me like an electric capacitor or something in the power supply, or a diode. It's the startup's not working properly, and by changing the load you managed to get it to work, perhaps, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, usual suspects, I guess. But why not just buy a new one? Or maybe that's what you said you'd done, I don't know, because that looked like a 2-channel one. You get 4-channel ones now. In fact, there's one behind me. I guess you can see it, just sort of there-ish. And that is, it's not. I don't think it's quite the same model, but it's a 4-channel sold as 50 megahertz. It becomes 100 megahertz with some software, and works very well. Right. Okay. On terms of the net time, it's just I've not been around on the
your signal, as you said, you were talking about the times, and then you just popped out. So there was a 99% null packet. Good grief! I don't know what's going on today. I really don't know what's going on. It's crazy, eh? At least, yeah, I'm just monitoring my own signal. Seems to be working. So I'm keen to hear what you had to say about the time zones. So maybe you can restart and then pass it to Leon. Mike, G0MJW, ZA6YI.
Sorry, Guy, I'm not sure what happened there. I'm keeping an eye on it now. I'm wondering if it's the network, actually. That might be what the problem was, because it looked like it was working fine, and it just suddenly stopped, didn't it? And the Pluto went into 100% null packets, as you say. So I think the network failed. Sorry about that. I don't know how much of my over you got, so that would be difficult to say. Time zones, I was saying that I was away, and so wasn't really able to come on. 4 o'clock's okay. It's quite late, but not too bad. 3 o'clock's not very convenient, nor is 2 o'clock, so I'm afraid you can't win. I said a few other things. I explained to Leon what his problem was, but maybe I won't do that again. I don't know when it went off. Maybe it went off when the power jumped. Maybe that was it. Right. But yeah, it was the internet connection to the Pluto, because it's connected by coax. That's what will have happened. Okay. Who's in Exodus? Well, anyway, Leon, I think. G0MJW.
Okay, Mike, G0MJW, and the group ZS1MM. No, I don't have a problem with the scope. It's Frank that's got a problem with the scope. No, I have real scopes. Mine is 150 megs and it's 4 channels. And it's got the right name on it. That's very important. And it's got a CRT in it. Not a slow freaking LCD thing. It's alive. No bits and bytes. I love it. I have a couple of them here. There's one. There's one. There's one. In my bedroom is one. And in the garage I think is another one. And I've put a bid in on another 2 at work. So all real scopes. I don't like the modern stuff. They tell lies. I've proven it to them. Okay, Mike, yeah, I don't care about the time. If I'm here, then any time is fine with me. But yes, of course. Okay, that's all from me as well. And see you guys around the corner again. I think Frank signed. Yeah, Gary must still close down the thing. I don't know how Nigel's gonna. Where's John? I think it was John who was with him last time who got it going for him. Let me just see on my log. Yeah, John. So maybe you must just try and get John over there again, Nigel, and maybe he'll spot what is not switched on. Okay, Gary. Back to you. ZS6YI for the group. ZS1MM saying 73s. Cheerio.
Okay, Nigel, what a pity, man. You're trying your best. Okay, Nigel. It's just not working together with you today. Not to worry, not to worry. I appreciate you coming up, giving it a go, and you will find the problem and you'll say, damn it, why didn't I spot it? So don't worry about it. But it's good to have you on, and always good to see you. So better luck next week. Okay, yeah, we didn't miss terribly much other than the time zone things. And you did mention the scope, the power supply, and so on. You're right. Get a new get a new scope. Yeah, I've got Quinton's scope. It's a 4-channel. I think it's 400 megs or something. Very, very nice piece of equipment and the right name, as you say, Leon. But I hardly use it. I just like to leave it more or less the way it was, obviously. Right, with that, I'm going to say 7-3 to everybody on the net. I know Frank also did sign. He said he's off. I'm going to sign and close the net. And nice seeing you again, Mike. I see you were away. And you're right, you know, no time, can't win. So we'll stick it this time. I think it'll be more convenient to you. That's fine. And I'm sure other guys will follow suit when they get used to the time going forward. They're enjoying it for the time being. 7-3 to everybody. Thanks for coming up. We'll see each other next week. All been clear. ZS 6YI now. QRT. 7-3 all.